Hey everyone, and welcome back. We are jumping right into things today because we have a truly captivating narrative to unpack for you in today's explainer. We're looking at Milo's secret. This is the story of a tiny, totally unassuming stray cat in the quiet American town of Maplewood who literally took the internet by storm. Seriously, this little orange cat worked every single day doing actual chores at a local grocery store, and his only demand? A single bottle of milk.
Which brings us to the core mystery here. Why on earth did a cat work every day for just one bottle of milk? Now, a lot of folks who visited the store thought this whole routine was just adorable. They figured it was just a funny little quirk of animal behavior. But as we're going to see, the real reason was completely hidden from the public eye. The actual truth behind this daily transaction was kept a total secret until one very rainy night changed absolutely everything. All right, let's look at Section 1, the hardworking stray and his routine at Walter's Market. To really understand Milo, we first have to meet Walter Hayes. He's a lonely 72-year-old widower. Every morning at exactly 6:30 a.m., Walter would unlock his grocery store, and every single morning a patient little orange stray was sitting there waiting for him. Walter ended up naming him Milo, and this quiet morning greeting really became the foundation of an incredible bond between the two of them. But this wasn't just some cat hanging around begging for scraps. Milo was putting in the hours. It all started one winter morning when Walter accidentally dropped a bag of lemons. Before Walter could even bend down to grab them, Milo rushes over and uses his tiny paws to push the lemons back toward the store. I mean, how crazy is that? From there, it escalated. He started dragging small paper bags closer to the customers. He'd position himself right by the front door to act as the official greeter for the neighborhood kids. He even took on security detail, chasing rats out of the storage room. He very quickly went from a quiet stray to a highly dedicated, full-time little employee. Well, local newspapers soon caught wind of this and literally dubbed him the hardest working cat in America. So this wasn't just a quirky local Maplewood thing anymore. Milo achieved full-blown viral internet fame. Teenagers started showing up just to record his shifts for social media. Whole families were traveling from nearby towns. Tourists were pulling up to Walter's Market specifically to take selfies and just watch this hardworking little orange cat do his thing. Kids would even bring him toys. He was an absolute sensation.
Moving to Section 2, a strange daily payment, and the evening mystery begins. Because amidst all this fame, there was a really strange caveat to Milo's employment. Every evening, when the store finally shut its doors, Walter would hand Milo his payment, just one small bottle of milk. And I want you to notice the profound parallel between our two main figures here. On one side, we have Walter, who had tragically lost his wife Eleanor about 5 years prior. His life basically consisted of a quiet, empty apartment upstairs with absolutely no family dinners. The silence in his life was practically deafening, though, Milo's daytime company had definitely started to make that silence feel just a bit smaller. But on the other side, we have Milo. Even though he was surrounded by adoring fans all day, his evenings totally mirrored Walter's isolation. It was this solitary, mysterious nightly trek where he'd carry his milk completely alone out into the dark streets. They were really just two lonely figures, both keeping to themselves the second the sun went down. So, the mystery deepened significantly during a brutal winter snowstorm. Walter was totally convinced Milo wouldn't show up. Who would? But right at 6:30 a.m., boom, Milo appears, completely covered in snow. He had literally walked through freezing conditions just to clock in for work. And here's the strangest clue of all. Even on that day, when he was freezing cold and surely starving, he absolutely refused to drink his daily payment. He took his small bottle of milk and carried it away completely untouched, right back into the freezing weather. Walter respected the cat's secret, sure, but the mystery was undeniable at this point.
Which brings us to Section 3, the rainy night secret, uncovering the hidden truth. Because everything changed on the morning that Milo suddenly stopped showing up.
Over the next 3 days, the anxiety just steadily escalated. Let's break it down. On day 1, Walter's waiting outside the store, but no Milo. Customers are asking about him, the kids are super disappointed, and Walter is basically forcing a smile, pretending Milo's just off on some little adventure. But by day 2, the real worry sets in. Walter actually leaves the store and frantically starts searching the local alleys, the parking lots, the back streets. Nothing. By day 3, Walter can't even sleep. For the first time in years, he feels that crushing, true loneliness creep back in. But that evening, under heavy rain, right as he's closing up the shop, he spots a vital clue. Fresh, muddy paw prints near the sidewalk. So Walter grabs a flashlight, and despite the pouring thunderstorm, he heads out into the dark. He follows these muddy prints behind a row of abandoned buildings.
The trail leads him all the way across the local railroad tracks, pulling him further and further away from the safety of the town. Finally, he reaches an old, broken-down bridge down near the river. The rain is just soaking his coat, thunder's echoing everywhere, and then, over the sound of the storm, he finally hears it. Weak, tiny crying sounds. Walter slowly lifts his flashlight and he completely freezes. There, under a broken piece of cardboard, Milo is curled protectively around 3 tiny kittens. And right beside them sat that daily bottle of milk, almost empty. The kittens were drinking it while Milo just sat there and watched over them. This was the profound secret. Every single night, through snowstorms and freezing weather, Milo had been carrying that milk away to single-handedly feed his hidden, starving family. He wasn't drinking a drop of it himself. He was literally sacrificing his own meals for them.
I kind of want to pause here just to let the emotional weight of that realization really sink in. For years, people called this cat smart, funny, a great little worker. But as Walter knelt there in the rain, he finally understood the real truth. He wasn't working for milk, he was working for family. This was a profound, incredible act of selflessness. Milo's entire daily routine, his cheerful greetings, his rat chasing, his lemon pushing, it was all a pure, hidden sacrifice just to keep his babies alive.
Section 4. Healing 2 Lonely Hearts. A new beginning for everyone. Because, of course, Walter didn't just walk away. He immediately took off his coat, wrapped the entire feline family inside it, and carried the whole group back through the storm to his apartment. That night, the empty rooms above Walter's market were finally filled with the sounds of tiny paws and soft meows. Life had officially returned to Walter's home.
And the aftermath was just pure joy. The very next morning, customers literally gasped when they walked in to find the kittens joining Milo right behind the store counter. The footage obviously went viral all over again, but this time, the whole town knew the secret behind the milk. And this actually sparked a massive wave of charity. We're talking huge donations pouring into animal shelters, and it inspired families across the entire state to start adopting stray animals of their own. It all started with just one little cat. You know, we so often think that to make a massive difference in the world, we need endless resources or power. But this beautifully illustrates how one tiny stray cat, who was simply trying to care for his family, ended up changing thousands of lives across an entire state. But perhaps the most profound transformation in this whole story was Walter's. Before discovering Milo's secret, Walter was a lonely widower who barely smiled, living out his days in complete silence. But by bringing this family out of the dark, Walter effectively cured his own bitter isolation through their companionship. He renovated his apartment, bought cat beds and toys, and began laughing every single day. His neighbors actually noted that he started opening his windows every morning, singing softly to himself while he fed his 4 cats. Which leaves us with this really poignant reminder. Be kind to stray animals. You never know the love they carry inside. This story is just a beautiful testament to the deep, profound emotional bonds that can form between humans and animals. Milo never asked for comfort or riches. He just worked to protect the ones he loved. Ultimately, it shows us how kindness and sacrifice can completely transform the lives of both the giver and the receiver within a community. So I'll leave you with this. Who are the quiet, unseen heroes in your own town, just waiting for someone to notice them? Thank you so much for joining me today, and we'll see you next time.